当时是 COVID 确诊的话，一送进去还是隔离病房，虽然也是末期。好，已经很慌乱了，送进去之后，你知道你觉得医生当下护士讲的话，你能够很清楚的，当下那个急诊室里头，随便医生护理他们这样丢的一句话，对你来讲那就是生死的那个圣旨一般的，你要怎么解读？虽然我知道可能就是最后了，你知道要我真的开口说就说不插鼻胃管，我哭了一个晚上了。真的吗？真的吗？这样子啊。大家好，我是郭强生。长达10年照顾父亲结束后，成为大龄孤儿，我看到死亡其实是每个人的归属。随着我们每一刻都在离死亡靠近一点点的情况下，又要用什么态度面对？邀请你来听听节目中动人与真诚的故事。先来一杯，我们再聊。
So, did you eat your Zongzi yet?
Oh my gosh, yes. Hey, good morning, afternoon, or evening, depending on whatever time zone you're in. Welcome back to Sip&Talk.
It smells so incredibly good in the studio right now.
It really does. These are actually a gift from our Taiwanese listeners. So to all you Sip&Talkers out there, whether you're commuting, working out, or like us, just getting ready to absolutely demolish a sticky rice dumpling happy Dragon Boat Festival.
Happy Dragon Boat Festival. But hey, before we really get going, I have to establish our baseline here.
Uh-oh. What is it?
Are you holding a northern-style Zongzi, which is basically just oily rice disguised in a leaf, or a true soul-comforting southern-style one?
I am absolutely not stepping on that culinary landmine today.
God.
No way. The northern versus southern Zongzi debate is fierce enough. But, you know, it actually reminds me of a much bigger internet debate.
Oh, the annual social media trolls.
Exactly. Every year around this time, my feeds get flooded with people making the most absurd claims. They basically yell that if you don't admit you're a Chinese citizen, you aren't allowed to celebrate the festival or eat Zongzi.
Right. It's like the ultimate traffic bait. They frame cultural participation as this binding political contract.
Yes, which is just wild.
So for today's Sip and Talk, we're putting that aggressive logic under a historical microscope. We are going to completely deconstruct this absurdity of cultural sovereignty.
It's going to be a fun one. Just a quick disclaimer, though, as always, we're looking at this objectively. We're breaking down history, international law, and global economics just to encourage your independent thinking.
Right. It's not an attack on anyone, just an impartial breakdown of geopolitical reality. So swallow that bite of Zongzi and settle in, because this is going to be incredibly insightful.
Absolutely. So to dismantle this whole troll argument, we first have to look at the guy the festival is actually about.
Right, Kuai Yuan.
Yeah. And claiming Kuai Yuan as a mascot for a unified empire is, well, historically hilarious.
Why is that? I mean, most people just know him as the guy who drowned himself.
Right, but he lived during the Warring States period around 300 BC. There was no unified empire then. He was a fiercely loyal citizen of the Chu state.
Oh, okay. So he was essentially from a completely different political entity.
Exactly. And he famously drowned himself in despair, specifically because his homeland was being aggressively annexed by the militaristic Qin Empire.
Wait, really? So he was basically a Chu independence advocate fighting against unification?
Yes. That's the irony.
Using him to promote a unified empire today is like, I don't know, using a rebel leader to sell merchandise for the empire. Makes zero sense.
It really doesn't. But it brings up this whole idea of how culture actually works. Culture is basically open source.
Open source, like software.
Yeah, exactly. Just because the British built a huge part of their culture around Asian tea, or Americans eat Italian pizza every single day, it doesn't give the originating land political jurisdiction over them.
Right. The Italian government doesn't legally claim Chicago just because deep dish pizza is huge there.
Exactly. So inheriting a cultural practice doesn't grant political authority.
So if culture doesn't dictate modern identity, what does? Because I'd argue it comes down to the functionality of the present system.
What do you mean by that?
Like, a truly attractive system naturally draws people in. If you have democracy, freedom, a powerful passport, people want to be part of that.
Oh, absolutely.
But when a system is heavily flawed, like, say, it relies on digital surveillance or strict censorship, it has to rely on the emotional blackmail of bloodlines. It's essentially a forced sale.
That is a great way to put it. It's an emotional forced sale, which leads us perfectly into the core legal dispute we want to talk about.
Right, the legal status of Taiwan's system. because technically Taiwan isn't a country name.
No, it's not. The legal name is the Republic of China, or the ROC.
So how does the international community view this?
Well, we have to look at the 1933 Montevideo Convention. It lays out the 4 legal pillars of statehood.
Okay, lay them on me.
First, you need a permanent population.
Which Taiwan has, right? Like 23 million people.
Exactly. Second is a defined territory. Check. Third is a functioning government.
Also check. They collect taxes, run elections, all of that.
Right. And the 4th pillar is the capacity to enter into relations with other states.
And that's where people usually argue, right? Because they say Taiwan lacks formal diplomatic recognition from the UN.
Right, but the convention says the capacity for relations, not a UN seat. And Taiwan conducts massive de facto global diplomacy every single day.
I've always thought about this historical timeline like a corporate trademark dispute.
Oh, I love this analogy. Walk us through it.
So imagine the ROC as a legacy company that held a globally recognized trademark. That trademark was China.
Okay, tracking.
Then in 1971, UN Resolution 2758 is passed. It's basically the Global Chamber of Commerce transferring that prime trademark to a rival management team in Beijing, the PRC.
Right, they essentially hijacked the trademark.
Exactly. But instead of fighting a losing battle over the old name, the legacy company did a strategic brand pivot. They adopted a highly recognizable nickname, Taiwan.
It's brilliant, honestly.
It's like your family running a famous shop called Old Wang's Sesame Bread.
Oh, this is good.
Right. And then a neighbor forcefully takes over the original building, hangs up the Old Wang sign, and yells, "Old Wang doesn't exist anymore. I own all his assets."
Well, your family just moves down the street, puts up a Taiwan bakery sign, and keeps baking the exact same bread for a massive global customer base.
Exactly.
水凤姐，哦，我留你足久啊。
追我的人很多，没人去给到，因为我拢啉正港的优蛋白，补体素优蛋白 EX222，增肌关键，磨弱血层，促进新陈代谢，看笑脸爱保养哦。
来，继续补体素优蛋白 EX， 强化配方，增肌 Yes。
马上点击资讯栏连结，跟美凤姐一起喝补体素优蛋白 EX。
Customer base.
Exactly. But here's the crucial flaw in Beijing's logic. Just because they won the trademark at the UN, they claim they automatically own the rival company's assets, the land, and the people.
Right, but that completely ignores the legal concept of effective control.
Which means what, exactly?
International law requires a governing body to actually exercise factual authority over a territory. And the PRC has never exercised effective control over Taiwan for a single day since 1949.
Wait, never?
Never. Not one day. They've never collected a tax or paved a road there.
So the bakery analogy holds up perfectly,
Yeah.
but that brings up a really complex question. If Taiwan operates perfectly as a sovereign state and bakes the bread the whole world needs, why doesn't the world just officially establish formal diplomatic ties? Are they just bowing to Beijing out of weakness?
It's not weakness, it's game theory. It's about avoiding a massive systemic risk.
Like an economic crash.
Yeah, an estimated $10 trillion global economic collapse. That's roughly 10% of global GDP that a kinetic conflict would wipe out.
10 trillion? That's insane.
Right, so the current diplomatic setup is what we call a legacy system. It's old, it's clunky, but refactoring it would crash the entire global server.
It's basically like a controlling crazy ex.
Huh. How so?
The ex threatens to burn down the entire neighborhood if anyone publicly dates their former partner. The neighbors don't avoid the partner because they dislike them. They're just trying to avoid a literal explosion.
Wow, that is terrifyingly accurate.
So instead of front door dating, they use a tech workaround. I call it API forwarding.
Okay, explain the API concept for the Sip&Talkers who aren't in tech.
Sure. So countries don't use the front-end marriage certificate formal ties, but the back-end coding is fully integrated via an API. Two systems talking securely without a visible front-end connection.
Right, and we see real-world evidence of this API diplomacy everywhere. Take the U.S.-Taiwan Relations Act, the TRA.
Right, passed in 1979.
Yeah, it's an actual domestic U.S. law. It's legally stronger than just a policy memo, and it mandates that Taiwan is treated as a foreign state under U.S. law.
So it's basically a virtual embassy.
Exactly. And look at Japan. No formal ties, but massive semiconductor partnerships. TSMC is building huge fabrication plants in Kumamoto.
You don't integrate your most critical tech supply chains with a place you think is just a breakaway province.
You really don't.
But if everyone is walking on eggshells with this API forwarding, what exactly are they so afraid of? Why the sudden push for global de-risking?
Well, recent reports from the FBI, the EU Commission, and the G7 all showing that the world now views Beijing as a systemic threat. And there are 4 specific pillars of concern.
Break those down. What's pillar number 1?
Economic and tech. We're seeing massive intellectual property theft and something called China Shock 2.0.
Oh, the dumping of heavily subsidized goods.
Exactly. Dumping EVs and solar panels, which is forcing the West to throw up like 30 to 100% tariffs just to protect their own markets.
Wow. Okay, so that's the economic side. What's the second pillar?
Military expansion. It's this constant gray zone warfare.
Gray zone meaning below the threshold of actual war.
Right. Daily incursions into Taiwan's Air Defense Identification Zone, or ADIZ, plus ramming ships with water cannons in the South China Sea.
It's like a slow physical intimidation.
And exactly. Salami slicing tactics.
Got it. And the third pillar?
Trust deficit. There's lingering global trauma and economic devastation from the initial cover-up of COVID-19.
Right. The lack of transparency really rattled the global supply chain. And the final pillar?
Human rights. The severe crackdowns in Xinjiang and the complete dismantling of Hong Kong's freedoms.
Which was a legally binding international treaty that was just bypassed.
Exactly.
So to all of you listening, this totally recontextualizes Taiwan's position. Their diplomatic situation isn't a sign of failure.
Not at all.
It's actually proof that Taiwan is sitting right on the front lines of a global effort to contain a highly volatile systemic risk.
That's a perfect summary. It's a calculated price to keep the global system running.
Which kind of brings this whole conversation full circle, right back to the Dragon Boat Festival.
It really does, because at the end of the day, the true essence of the holiday is freedom.
Yes, the freedom to enjoy your family's specific Zongzi recipe without someone policing your identity.
Right. And the freedom to openly critique politicians online without the fear of being invited for tea by the authorities.
Exactly. The freedom to eat and the freedom to speak. So I want to leave you with a final question to chew on today.
Oh, I love these. Lay it on us.
As Taiwan continues to thrive using this back-end API style of substantive diplomacy, could this actually make traditional 19th century formal embassy diplomacy completely obsolete in the future?
Oh, wow.
Right. If you can secure trade and defense without the expensive front-end UI, maybe the old way is just over.
That is a fascinating thought to leave on.
Right. Well, thank you so much for being a Sip and Talker today. We really appreciate you tuning in.
Yes. Thank you. And please don't forget to hit subscribe to the Sip and Talk podcast so you never miss an episode.
Absolutely.
Oh, and before we go, I have to remind everyone to go check out our good friend Mickey's YouTube channel. It's called Mickey to Life.
Oh my gosh, yes.
He just uploaded this hilarious short video of him trying to stand an egg on its end for the Dragon Boat Festival.
Yeah, it is so funny.
It really is. And his recent travel vlog from Hokkaido is absolutely laugh out loud funny. You guys have to go watch it.
It's the perfect way to unwind after all this heavy geopolitical talk. A fantastic week, everyone. See you next time.
Take care, guys. Bye.